Time now for 1 full hour of nitro-fueled NHRA talk. It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, your hosts, Marty Hough and 10-time NHRA winner Doug Herbert.
You're listening to The Straight Line on drag racing at mrn.com. Thanks for being here for our 1 hour of horsepower. Appreciate you joining us. Getting ready for the countdown and racing at ZMAX Dragway this weekend. The defending winner of this event, Matt Hagan, will be here. Countdown contender Dave Connolly joins us. We'll chat with U.S. Nationals champion Jerry Savoie, and we have a special guest in studio. We're in the beams and set to launch another edition of The Straight Line. Welcome in wherever you may be across the country or around the globe. This is The Straight Line on mrn.com. I am Marty Hough. And between the three of us in this studio, we have 10 IHRA championships between the three of us. Down there on the end, 6-time IHRA Top Fuel champion Clay Millican joins us, along with 4-time IHRA Top Fuel champion Doug Herbert. Clay, Doug, welcome in.
Hey, always good to be here, and I'm always with you on this day. But our special guest, Clay Millican, good to have you here today with us, buddy. We're excited to be racing over here at ZMAX this weekend, and happy that you're came in a little bit early and decided to let me drag you over here this morning.
I'll tell you what, I've been on the show, but it's nice to literally be on the show. This is really cool. I mean, this is a nice place you got going here, and I didn't expect the cameras and all that, so glad I got on my Great Clips Parts Plus shirt this morning.
Right, we got to take care of that. We got to take care of business. Tell us, I sent you a text when I opened up the running order for Indy on Monday, and I was like, oh, man. Clay, my buddy Clay, didn't make it into Indy, and I was heartbroken. It took me a couple hours to figure out, I don't know, because unfortunately I've been in that same position too. What am I going to say to him? What can I say to him that's going to make him feel better? And I don't know that there is anything.
Yeah.
But, man, you got that out of the way. You know what? Now it's time to win this race.
You know what? I mean, we stumbled a little bit. First of all, Indy was a great weekend, and then it kind of got bad, but we won the Traxxas fan vote. You know, we won the lottery. Yep. We beat the Army car in the first round of the $100,000, and then we didn't do so well. I mean, we come out of that first round to qualified number 2, so you would think, okay, you're in good spot. Well, we ended up in 13th spot. Well, on the first round of qualifying, they only keep the top 12 cars, so we ended up outside looking in. And unfortunately, you know, the door was open for us to make the top 10 with what happened with Spencer Massey and all that. We needed to go to the final round as long as Dave Connolly didn't win. Well, Connolly took the ball and ran with it and went to the final round and put himself in.
Yep. I mean, he did what he needed to do.
Absolutely.
And it happened. But the good thing is there's still 6 races left in the year for you to win.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what the points. Winning cures a lot.
Winning is all that matters now. And, I mean, really, it probably makes it a little easier. We can go in to this race this weekend and concentrate on what we did wrong at Indy and different track, different weather conditions. And Grubby has had our car running really, really well. You know, we did stumble at Indy, but, man, that thing, I've set career best after career best, and I don't know if the weather's not right this weekend, why we can't do it again.
Well, and the team's kind of coming together. You started this year with a new team, new cars, new everything, and David Grubnick, seasoned veteran, and Lance Larson, another seasoned veteran that's been a lot with you over the past several years. You've got good guys. It's just a matter of they didn't get to do any testing, so now it's like you got to go out, and there's no time for testing, so you've got to figure out the testing while you're racing, which is a little bit tough. But the car's been, I've seen a few of those low 70 runs. It's ran really well.
It really has, and I mean, Grubby is such a smart guy, and we kind of let him stay up there and look at all the computers, and Lance is such a hands-on great teacher that he has done a phenomenal job with. We have brand new guys. Nobody on our race car had more than 1 year of experience that is working on the car. Lance is a professor when it comes to teaching people how to put cars together. Knock on wood, the guys haven't made any mistakes that cost us a run this year, which is incredible with a brand new team. I mean, Doug, you've been through this. Normally somebody leaves, valve cover nuts loose and you have an oil leak, this, that, and other. We have been so fortunate. These guys are so dedicated to what they're doing. I'm having a blast. I mean, yes, we missed the countdown, that sort of thing, but in January, we didn't have a screwdriver in the building. We had nothing. We had nothing. And for these guys to go out and do what they've done, and Grubby really, I mean, he's kind of been involved with the tune-up, but he never had the final say-so in all of his years. And for him to have that final say-so and to have done as well as he did is just incredible. It really is.
Yeah, he had Connie looking over his shoulder.
Exactly,
Well.
exactly.
There is that. Hey, real quick, wanted to get you guys' reaction. The social media has been ablaze over the last, say 20 hours or so, maybe even a little bit less, when John Force announced that he was doing a throwback Jeff Gordon paint scheme for this weekend. And we got a picture of it here on the screen. Just amazing. Wanted to kind of get both of your reactions on that, because, I mean, that is hot, and it's anybody that wants to talk about right now.
It looks pretty neat. I don't know. Is he going to start going in circles too? I'm not.
John's been going in circles a long time.
Well, and then there's there is that. But it looks neat. I think it's great. I'm trying to figure out the correlation there. Obviously, Force is
Chevrolet.
working on an angle. Yeah.
Chevrolet.
Okay.
I don't know what the exact angle is, but obviously Jeff Gordon has been since his Cup career began in 1992. He's been Chevrolet all this time, right. And Force now ending his first year back now with Chevrolet, obviously. But a master. Not only is he a master on the track, but a master off the track, thinking kind of outside of the box for people to put eyes on him.
Right.
I think the car looks pretty cool. I mean, it really does. And matter of fact, yesterday driving in, I noticed all the construction's done as you're coming into town here, and then saw the streets called Jeff Gordon Boulevard. Maybe it's been that way, and I didn't know it. Just saw the sign yesterday. But, I mean, Gordon's on his last year, and then, of course, we know John's going to keep racing for another 20 years. I mean, he's just amazing. He's amazing what he does. John's really awesome at that.
Well, he's just got so much motivation. Force is, he's the senior statesman for racing, really, nowadays. I mean, Richard Petty, the NASCAR guy, obviously is worldwide known. But in drag racing, Force is the guy that everybody knows, right? I mean, every year I go over here to the NASCAR race in Charlotte or somewhere, and there's Force. And he's got his sponsor uniforms on, and he's walking around, and everybody, hey, Force. I mean, he's a cool guy. Force is a cool guy. Great. He's a great ambassador for the National Hot Rod Association, and for us being drag racers.
Absolutely.
To be able to be friends with him, too.
I call him the Elvis of drag racing. Being where I'm from, that kind of fits. But he is. I mean, he's the Elvis of drag racing.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah, no question about it. Earlier this week, Alan Johnson announces that unless he finds funding somewhere down along the line, that he's pulling the plug for 2015. Also wanted to get your reaction. Obviously, this has been kind of in the air a little bit here and there, that they may not make it the full season. But unfortunately, here at ZMAX Dragway, beginning the countdown, Sean Langdon and Alan Johnson, that team will not be here. Just kind of some quick thoughts on that.
Well, that's a top team, obviously, that won't be out here racing. That's a loss for the sport, to be honest. As Clay and I were talking a little earlier, they had some support from Toyota. Toyota announced earlier in the year that they were going to support them until something else came through, and apparently nothing came through in time. Yeah. But Alan Johnson knows how to race a car. He knows how to get a sponsor, and Alan has plenty of other things to do. He makes parts for a lot of the other racers, so it's not like he's going to be sitting home bored.
I tell you what, it's hard to argue that he's not the greatest top fuel crew chief of all time, and I suspect he'll land back out here in some form or fashion. I mean, but for that team to park is unbelievable. I mean, just a couple weeks ago in Brainerd, they ran the quickest run of all time. 366.
Wow.
With 3 cylinders out a little ways past half track. Unbelievable. That's just a jaw dropper.
Yeah.
The guy is an amazing crew chief, and he has a pretty good business, because I know that we buy lots of parts from him. Lots.
And he likes that.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, no question. Coming up on the program, we will talk to Matt Hagan. He is the defending winner of this event, although it didn't actually run here in the Charlotte area. We'll talk to Matt here about that and heading into the countdown. We'll also talk to Dave Connolly in a recorded piece that we did just a little bit earlier here, about 45 minutes ago or so, as Dave is on his way over here to the ZMAX Dragway. And we'll also talk to U.S. Nationals winner in the pro bike category, Jerry Savoie. That is all coming up. Real quick before we go to break, Clay, did want to broach the topic. Obviously, it's been a tough month for you. Just kind of tell the fans, where you're at on that, and the everything after the passing of your son.
I mean, it's definitely been a tough month. I have talked to this guy a whole lot, having been through a very similar situation. I mean, that's one of those things that happens that you never think will happen to you. I mean, tough month on everybody, without a doubt about it. I mean, it's just to steal a line I got from him, 1,000,000 good memories and one bad, and still hurts and probably always will, and things hit me from time to time that wipe me out, and I try to, just get through those and keep smiling because I know he's smiling watching us.
Yeah, and so racing's got to be great therapy.
It is. I mean, if I didn't go racing, I know Dalton would be mad. He's a racer. I mean, the kid raced all over the world. I mean, he was driving monster trucks this past year and had probably the most fun year of his entire life, and you just got to smile and know that he's watching over us.
Yep. And
been saying a lot of prayers for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've appreciated everybody. I mean, I've kind of been a little quiet, social media wise and all that.
Sure.
But I can't thank everybody enough. I mean, the things that people have done has just been incredible. I mean, we have a lot of friends out there, without a doubt, and we appreciate it.
Cool. Well, thanks for being with us, and you'll be here for the rest of the show, along with Clay and Doug. I'm Marty, and we will talk to Matt Hagan next.
This is The Straight Line. More right after this. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and pick up a 16-ounce can of Gum Out Parts Cleaner free after mail-in rebate. Great for cleaning brake drums and rotors, carburetors, air intakes, and all unpainted metal parts. Hurry in for this free offer at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
NHRA drag racer Doug Herbert here to talk about safe driving. In early 2008, my two sons were killed in a car accident that was caused by speed and inexperience. After the accident, I learned that over 6,000 teenagers each year are killed in car accidents, so I formed a nonprofit organization called Brakes. Brakes stands for Be Responsible and Keep Everyone Safe. Please visit our website at putonthebrakes.org to learn more about responsible driving and what you can do to keep our roads safe.
It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now here's Marty Hough and Doug Herbert.
Thanks for being with us here on MRN.com. It is The Straight Line, along with Clay Millican and Doug Herbert. I'm Marty Hough, and joined now by the driver of the Freightliner Trucks Dodge Charger funny car for Don Schumacher Racing. Matt Hagan joins us. Matt, thanks for being here on the show. Appreciate your time.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. First of all, I just wanted to say, man, that's tough listening in on that last little bit there with Clay and his family, and obviously we're all thinking about your brother, but there's nobody can say anything that makes that any better, man. So like I said, our prayers go up for you, brother, and we're thinking about you.
I appreciate it, buddy. I really do.
Hey, so Matt, you finished the season number 2 in points, and it's almost like you had a slump, but it's hard to say. How do you have a slump when you're number 2 in points? But that guy named Backman has been stealing the show lately.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, we really kind of are number 2. You know what I mean? Right now we've had sorry, this tractor's going off. I'm going to shut it off. Hold on a second.
Darn tractor.
Things loud. They beep at you for everything you do. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
We need that in a race car, brother.
I know, right? But yeah, I mean, we have been in a little bit of a slump. There's no way around it. I mean, since Chicago, it's not really ran the way we wanted it to. And, and we're still, like I said, in a learning curve a little bit with the 6-disc. I feel like Dickie Venables has got a handle on it, but I think that we're still learning as we go in some of these new conditions and, and up there in different altitudes and different things like that. So, talking about it, I said, I was talking to one of my assistant crew chiefs, Mike Knudsen, and I said, should we run the 5-disc again? What should we do? And honestly, they really do feel like it would be a step in the wrong direction to go back to the 5-disc, even though we won the championship and the first 2 races, and then we did the 6-disc in. They really feel like we're going to be ahead of the game and have a leg up on all of our teammates and stuff looking into the future. But everybody wants instant results right now, and sometimes it's really hard to take that and look at down the road kind of stuff, and so I really think that, honestly, I wish we were running a little better. We will run a little better, but sometimes you just don't have that instant gratification like you like. And nothing wrong with what Beckman and those guys are doing. They got the 5-disc flying, but I feel like obviously we're all making a lot more power, and we're all going to have to do the 6-disc deal in the future.
Yeah.
John Collins said that they've obviously you're all coming out of the same camp and basically know what each other's running. We asked him one day, hey, what do you know exactly what Jimmy Prock is doing over there? And he said, well, yeah, we do, but it doesn't fit our application at all. So none of what he's doing would apply to our car at this moment. So is that kind of the same way with you and Dickie Venables?
For sure. I mean, with the 6-disc clutch, we have to run it a totally different way. So honestly, we're the only one in our camp doing that, and so we're kind of the lone wolf and out here on our own to make it happen. So we really depend on Dickie Venables to make the right calls, and which he is. I mean, but with anything that you do that's new, there is a learning curve, and I still feel like we have a car that can go out here and win this championship. Yeah, we've been in kind of a slump, and if you'll just watch, drag racing period, I mean, you got peaks and valleys, and sometimes you're on a high and sometimes you're on a low. And honestly, I feel like we're about ready to dig our way out of this rut and be up on top where we need to be and peak at the right time. But, if I had a crystal ball, man, I wouldn't be driving a drag car. I'd be, millionaire sitting on a boat with a Mai Tai in my hand right now, man. But, it's one of those things where, you just never know. You got to work hard and trust in the people that are around you and really just kind of, believe in what they're doing and try to do the best job you can as a driver to leave on time, keep it in the groove, and turn the wind light on. And the rest of it has to just kind of take care of itself.
Hey, Matt, last year you were the winner of the Charlotte race, and actually you've had some really good results at Charlotte, being the first guy in the 3s and then winning the race last year. But tell us about the race last year, because that was a little bit weird, running the Charlotte race in another city.
Yeah, that was wild. It really worked out for us when we went to Dallas and finished that race up and was able to win it in qualifying, against Johnny Redlit against us. And, you just never know how things are going to go. I mean, yeah, that race, obviously, everybody was disappointed that the track pulled up and we weren't able to finish the race there. But, Bruton Smith throws a pile of money at it, and he's got a great facility again, and we're there racing again this spring and fall. And, we're proud to be there. I think Z-Max put on a great show. There's a great folks that come out, and it's one of the nicer facilities that we go to. So I'm very glad they got the service back together, and we can come out here and put on a show for these fans in the Carolinas.
So, Matt, do you think that as well as Beckman and those guys are running, maybe they showed their hand too soon and kind of let everybody else know, hey, we can do this, and gave them maybe a few 2 races to figure out how to go as quick as they're going?
Well, definitely everybody, when they saw that, I mean, all but my crew chief especially was like, well, man, if they can run that good to 60 and 330, why can't we? And obviously everybody is pushing early and they're stepping up like that. Does everybody have a handle on it like they do? I don't think so. I mean, their car is consistently going down the racetrack when the sun's out, running 3s. And I'm impressed by it. There's no way around it. I mean, you got to tip your hat to those guys. They're doing a great job. They're not messing it up. And as bad as I hate to say it, Beckman's doing a great job driving. So it's just one of those deals where, yeah, they did show their hand, but you still got to step up to the plate and hit the ball. I mean, I think that we've found some ways to go, a little bit faster earlier. Can we do it consistently every run? I'm not sure we're there yet, but do I think we're going to be there? Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing that Dickie Venables and these guys that I have surrounding me that they can't do eventually. You just got to give them enough runs to try.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, Beckman's car has been running dragster-type numbers early, so they've obviously got it figured out. But, man, I tell you what, the group you've got has been impressive, and in 6 races, I wouldn't bet against you.
Well, I don't know. Like I just quit betting all in all. I lose too much. So, it's one of them things where you hand your money to somebody and never see it again. I'd have a hard time with that. So.
And, Matt, I was definitely joking to you about being in a slump. When you're number 2 in points, you're definitely not in a slump. I was kind of joking there, obviously.
Oh, well, I mean, we still do feel like we're kind of in a slump a little bit. I think the morale of the team feels that way a little bit, just talking to all my guys and stuff. But, you just because we're so used to kind of dominating the way that, Beckman and those guys are doing right now. And then you get to, obviously hearing, Jimmy Prock this and Jimmy Prock that. And, And obviously, you know, my crew chief, he's over it. He's like, all right, it's time to go get this done. So we got to dig our way back up to where we're at, or where we should be, to go out here and really, you know, fight back and forth with these boys that are really getting it done and running hard. I mean, I think, you know, Beckman and those guys are probably the most consistent car out there as far as running big numbers and doing it, you know, every lap. So, you know, we have to rise to that occasion and bring our A game and make sure that we're there giving them a fight. You know, I mean, if not, they're going to run away with this thing.
What do you got figured out for coming into Charlotte this weekend? And obviously, Dickie knows how to win races, and you know how to win races. So now you've got 6 more to only move up 1 spot in points.
Yeah, I think that, you know, we're 30 behind coming into the Charlotte race, and you have to really put it in perspective. You know, it's anybody's race. It's not just me and Beckman or Tommy Johnson or whoever's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? It's the 2 years that I've been fortunate enough and humbled, you know, to come in thinking, oh man, we don't have a shot. You know, we were number 6 and number 7, I think, coming in. So to really put it in perspective, just because you're 1 or 2 or you're 30 back or whatever, doesn't really mean anything. You know, this countdown really changes everything. It'll serve you up a big dose of humble pie when you think you got it figured out. You know, it just sometimes with this 6-race format, you know, you get a car that gets really hot and a car that has been hot maybe gets cold. You know what I mean? So it really changes up and it puts things in different perspective for the last 6 races. Like I said, didn't really think, you know, that we had the car going into the countdown when we were number 6 and 7 to win a championship, but you know, it turned out to be that case. You know.
Yep.
Matt, John Force is playing a little bit dirty with a really cool brand new paint scheme just for this weekend. I know that you have your own special paint scheme for this weekend with the Freightliner on it. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're very, very proud to fly the colors for Freightliner. I mean, they hook us up with phenomenal trucks that you know, obviously we put a lot of miles on every year running across the country on the NHRA Tour and other things as well. But, you know, Freightliner, it's just cool to do a one-off for them just because they put all their names of their truckers and all the folks that are over the road that spend millions of miles a year on the road on that car, and they're able to do that and see that via social media. So, I mean, to me, that's a cool deal to be able to kind of display, and I know that these guys are out here working hard and making money, and they don't get maybe a chance to follow it all the time, but they follow social media and they're able to see their name on a hot rod that's going to go over 300 miles an hour. So it's pretty cool, man. I mean, I've been able to carry their banner for the last 3 or 4 years, and you know, a great group, and they're down to earth, they're solid earth kind of people, just like, you know, I feel like I am, and you know, you meet a lot of them, and it's really cool to be associated with them.
Well, and DSR, and particularly your team, has some great marketing partners, you know, throughout the year. You're running several different paint schemes, different sponsors. I think that's pretty neat. It keeps the fans on their feet to see what Hagan's team is going to have on the car this week.
Yeah, we're going to have another one come Dallas. I mean, I can't really touch on it yet, but we're going to have another big one-off, and it's going to be a big deal. But, you know, and that's something that one-off will probably grow into more in the future, hopefully. But you know, you have to go out here and hustle, and it's really cool to be able to have the opportunity to be oversold on the car and you know, and have it full. You know, I've been in the situation before where, you know, you got 6 races sold and you got a lot left to go, you know, so, and you look up at Don and like, am I going to still have a job, you know, and, you know, it's just, I've been on the other side of it and I understand that. So when you do have new companies and new corporations come in and they get excited about drag racing and NHRA and all the things that we're doing, we really do try to keep them happy. The biggest problem that I think you run into with corporate America is the internal turnover. A lot of times you got a guy in there that's in love with drag racing, in love with the sport, in love with what you're doing, and he gets promoted or he goes somewhere else, and then you have a new guy in there to kind of entertain and wheel and deal with. So that's the challenge is with corporate America, I think, as far as the spend and what they're wanting to do. But every now and then you'll get a guy in there that's there for a long time and really appreciates what you're doing and loves the sport, like Freightliner and you know, Rocky Boots and Mopar, you know, especially Mopar, you know, Pietro, the president Mopar, the CEO there, he's just in love with drag racing, and I think that's the biggest reason when they pulled out of NASCAR, they stayed in with drag racing was because of him. Yeah. And so you got to have guys like that are just love the sport, and it's really hard not to love the sport, especially if you come out and you watch the races and you watch the interaction. Like Clay is very interactive with his fans. You can go up there and get an autograph anytime. I mean, you look at his social media followings, he's got I don't know how many hundred thousands or whatever of people following, just like you, Doug, and it's cool because people can relate. They understand that you're down to earth folks, and you're just out there hanging on to a fast race car. And I think that's why people come back and watch our sport more so than others, and they spend the money to support it because they know that these guys out here that are getting it done and week in and week out, they're just like them. They just they're just luckier a little bit that they get to hang on to a fast car. But the sponsors appreciate it. I think that, it's very fan interactive, and you have an opportunity to promote a product. Like when I was running the Magneti Morelli car, everybody was like, what's Magneti Morelli? Well, I go up to the ropes and sign and stuff, and I get to answer those questions with people and really explain to them what the product is. And once they figured out it was just a Mopar aftermarket part, they were like, man, I'm going to start buying that, So really the fan interaction is where it's at with our sport.
Right. Well, Matt Hagan, thanks for joining us today. Matt Hagan, driver of the Freightliner, DSR, Dodge Charger funny car. We appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing you over here at Charlotte. I don't know when you're coming into town, but if you're coming in early enough, tomorrow night we're having our big brace game. I'd love to have you join us there.
Right on. I'll try to, man. Like I said, I think I get in there pretty late, but if I get in time, maybe I can wash my rear end and throw a nice shirt on and get over that way.
We'll feed you. We'll take good care of you.
Matt Hagan.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
Thanks,
Matt Hagan, driver of the Freightliner trucks this weekend, Dodge Charger for Don Schumacher Racing, joining us here on the Straight Line. Coming up, we have a recorded interview that we did here just about 45 minutes ago or so with Dave Connolly. He's now in the countdown, and that interview is coming up next.
You're listening to The Straight Line. More right after this.
Dale Jr. here. I wear Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable anytime, anywhere.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans are built with a U-shaped construction, so they give you more room where you need it. And their 4-way flex technology moves with you for all-day comfort.
In the garage or out and about, Wrangler knows the ins and outs of comfort. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Chet Herbert designed and manufactured the first roller cam for racing in 1949. Today, NHRA drag racer Doug Herbert continues his father's legacy. Herbert Cams stocks cams for virtually all racing applications, from street ride to NASCAR and NHRA. Herbert Cams can also custom grind a cam for any application. Cams, lifters, valve springs, push rods, and all related performance valve train and engine parts in stock at the best prices. Visit HerbertCams.com or call our expert technicians at 800-444-7373 for all your racing needs. Herbert Cams.
It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now here's Marty Hough and Doug Herbert.
Welcome back to the Straight Line on a Wednesday afternoon. Glad you're with us here on the Straight Line. More with Clay and Doug in just a moment. But first, we want to catch up with the driver of the C&J Energy Services Top Fuel Dragster for Bob Vandergriff Racing. And into the countdown as we head into ZMAX Dragway this weekend, Dave Connolly joins us. Dave, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it, and congratulations making the countdown.
Hey, Marty, I appreciate you guys having me on, and thank you very much. We were cutting it close there on the time frame, but we managed to get in the top 10, and, couldn't be more excited about it.
Describe that weekend. Obviously, this is the U.S. Nationals, a place where you've won and had great success at. But just the added pressure of now having the weight of trying to make the countdown all at the same time while trying to win the U.S. Nationals. No pressure there.
I guess our team thrives on that. Indy's always been a big race. Obviously, it's the big go. And for whatever reason, all drivers, all crews kind of have that one track where they seem to do good at. And Indy's been it for us. I mean, we've had a lot of great success there in the past. Running pro stock. But, you know, in a new adventure this year in Top Fuel, we didn't know what to expect. But we have a couple great crew chiefs in Jason McCullough and Kurt Elliott, and we've had a lot of luck on hot racetracks, and that's exactly what we've seen there at Indy. So it just all come together. I mean, we got focused and did what we had to do to get in the top 10. So I mean, that's good that we excelled under the, you know, pressure situations, and you know, because that's what we have the next 6 races is a lot more pressure, a lot more on the line each time you go up there, and you're racing for a championship now.
You had you go all the way to the final, and now there's a little bit of an issue with if you have an oil down penalty, you're out. But if you win the race, you win that round, you win the U.S. Nationals. So you kind of had a bit of an issue there. What was the strategy going in? And also, you had a bit of a backfire there in the finals, which probably cost you the round in the race. And were you suspicious that maybe there was something going on there?
It was a long shutdown for sure. Yeah, we had, you know, obviously we made it into the top 10 by just 6 points, and if we would have oiled the track there in the final, they would have deducted 10 points from us. So not only would we have lost the U.S. Nationals, but we would have also lost the countdown. But it was one of those situations where we felt like the team did a good job. We have the proper belly, you know, the blankets, the diapers, everything under there, and as long as we didn't kick the rods out of it, we shouldn't have oiled down. You know, that was a huge round for the crew. I mean, you got to be mistake free, and you know, which they were, which was great. So, you know, we avoided all the oil down penalties, and but yeah, like you said, we changed motors there for the final, and they seemed to be a little bit better, and we just had a little too much wheel speed and smoked the tire, and when it smoked the tire, it popped the blower and had a little flash fire. We actually got away pretty luckily there. We didn't hurt the blower or anything. Just, you know, some burst panels and studs. So all was good after everything settled, all the dust settled, and we made it in the countdown. Unfortunately, we didn't get the big wally at the end of the day, but it was still a great day for C&J.
You mentioned running on hot racetracks, and that's been one of your big successes this year. Taking a look at the weather forecast going ahead this weekend here at ZMAX, looks like it's going to be a little bit hotter than normal, maybe high 80s, direct sunlight. So this is going to be playing into your favor a little bit.
I sure hope so. You know, what's really impressed me with the whole C&J team, both cars, Larry's and myself, the crew chiefs have done an extremely well job of running in all conditions. You know, we struggled there for a while, putting up the big number Friday night on a cool track, which we've managed to put up some pretty good numbers lately. So they're adapting well to cold tracks, hot tracks, and but yeah, like you said, I mean, we've had, you know, more success. Chicago when it was hot. Sonoma can tend to get a little bit warm as well, and we've done pretty well on hot racetracks. So bring on the sun and bring on the countdown.
You mentioned you've had a lot of success in the pro stock ranks. First year in Top Fuel, what's been the biggest improvement for you since the beginning of the season, driving a 10,000 horsepower dragster?
You know, I'm far from getting a handle on this thing, but you know, I thank Bob Vandergriff obviously for giving me the opportunity and being very patient with me. You know, there's a lot to them. It's more than just kind of cracking the gas and holding the thing straight, like a lot of people may think. But it's just you're covering up so much ground so fast. The steering's touchy. Feeling when the thing smokes the tires, getting out of the throttle soon enough so you don't hurt parts. You know, there's a lot going on in you know 3.5 seconds. So it's a lot to take in. But again, there's nothing that you can go do to kind of prepare yourself for these animals. They're the fastest accelerating things on the ground. So I mean, it just takes seat time, and you know, again, the crew's been very patient with myself, and it's just all aspects of these cars I've kind of got grown and a newfound respect for them. I mean, the crew chiefs, there's so much to the fuel management and the clutch management and power management to these cars and the prep work that goes into them. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of different areas that have to be well-oiled machines to get these cars A to B every run and to go out there and win races. So, the crew's starting to gel better. I feel like I'm starting to keep the car in the groove better. Things are progressing for sure, and that's all you can ask for.
Working with a 3-time champion and Larry Dixon's got to help out too.
Yeah, Larry's he's by far one of the best drivers out there, and he may not even know it, but I watch him a lot. I mean, he's probably one of the best pedalers, and as far as getting the car A to B, I'm glad that he's in our corner and I can learn from him.
What is the strategy going in now that you're in the countdown? Now you got both cars from Bob Vandergriff in the countdown. How much are you going to be working together, and how much are you going to be working separately?
These guys, all of them, again, myself, Larry, the crew chiefs, the crews, it's one big team. I mean, we're all under one umbrella until we go up there and race against each other, and then I'm sure that me and Larry won't be the best of friends when we hit the starting line. But that should be expected. We're both out there to try to win races and win the championship, and I wouldn't expect anything different out of him. So it's it's a huge team, and we have a lot of talented people on there, and we're going to do our best to try to get both these cars to finish the 2015 season as high in the points as we can.
Dave, we know that you're really busy heading into ZMAX week, so we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for it, and congratulations again on making the countdown, getting in, and having your opportunity to win a championship in your first year at Bob Vandergriff Racing. And good luck this weekend at ZMAX.
Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on, and you're right. It's a huge opportunity, and I'm just very thankful for it, and hopefully we can take advantage of it and do some damage in this countdown.
All right, we'll see you this weekend.
Take care.
Driver of the C&J Energy Services Top Fuel Dragster for Bob Vandergriff Racing, that's Dave Connolly. More of the show coming up.
This is The Straight Line. More right after this.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, purchase 5 quarts of Haviland conventional motor oil and a MicroGuard filter for $16.99, or 5 quarts of Haviland Pro DS full synthetic and a MicroGuard filter for $22.99. Plus, earn double O reward points. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Play to win $1 million this week and every week this football season at DraftKings.com. With 1 week fantasy at DraftKings, you can play when you want with the team you want. Just pick your contest, pick your team, and pick up your winnings. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code COAST to play for free for a shot at $1 million in this week's Millionaire Maker event. Enter COAST for free entry now only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
You're listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts with Marty Hough and Doug Herbert.
Appreciate you joining us here on MRN.com. It is The Straight Line, along with the driver of the Parts Plus Great Clips Top Fuel Dragster for Stringer Performance, Clay Millican, and Doug Herbert. I'm Marty Hough. During the break, we were during the Dave Connolly interview, we were just kind of throwing back some memories, some good ones, some bad ones. Wanted to get into what you were talking about. Had a blowover at Milan, Michigan in IHRA. You were talking about, all the motor functions when something goes wrong still happens. I mean, you're hitting the brakes, the fuel shut off and all that stuff. You're upside down.
It's amazing what you can do when you're trying to save your butt.
Exactly.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Hey, I just got a breaking news text here from Mimi.
Yeah.
Felix Sabatis just donated a 37 Ford convertible hot rod with some hot rod Cobra engine in it to brakes to auction off at our gala.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So
okay,
Felix,
so I wonder,
awesome.
I wonder how much allowance Donna will give me.
All right.
So we got a couple of hot rods now for the gala coming up tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow
night, Thursday night at the Great Wolf Lodge here in Concord, we're going to have our 8th annual Breaks Gala. Clay and Donna are going to be sitting with us there at the gala. We've got a whole bunch of great folks coming. I know Schumacher's coming. Roger Comstock, team owner, one of the big sponsors for Jack Beckman for a long time. Great guy, big supporter. Tom and Joan Calamanis has been a big supporter of Breaks for a long time. A whole bunch of the racers. I know Angel's coming. Not sure who all else, but it's going to be a great, great time. But in addition to this 37 Ford Hot Rod, we've got a 1980 Corvette that has 4,000 miles on it. I mean, I drove it over here the other day, and it's like brand new. This thing just drove off the showroom floor, so that's incredible. We've got trips to Antigua. We've got Rusty Wallace's Cabo San Lucas Beach House.
I saw the pictures of that. That place is absolutely incredible. You were talking about that Felix has his eye on that one, and that may be a high-ticket item there because that is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, that is going to be super. Yeah, that is going to be super. So we're really excited about that. Gosh, I can't think. We've got a really nice watch from Diamonds Direct that we're going to be auctioning off. I can't even think about all the great things that we've got going on, but a whole bunch of super awesome auction items, and it's just going to be a fun time. With Colonel Gray from the North Carolina Highway Patrol is going to be our speaker. We've got John Roberts and Jeff Hammond are the MCs, so it's just going to be a fun night. The food is going to be great, dessert's going to be great, and the show's going to be great. And Clay Millican's going to be there.
Clay Millican will be there as well. And if we were talking about last week that some of the silent auctions, there's going to be a lot of Kenny Bernstein memorabilia there.
Yeah, we actually have a bunch of Kenny Bernstein stuff. Daryl Gwynn donated all of his remaining Kenny Bernstein stuff to Breaks, so we've got some incredible Kenny Bernstein auction items. I've got an autographed 300-mile-an-hour big poster from Kenny Bernstein and Dell Armstrong to commemorate their 300-mile-an-hour run at Gainesville back in '92. That is pretty awesome. We've got Kenny Bernstein's briefcase, his own personal briefcase.
Oh, wow.
I kind of got my
You
eye
remember
on
that? You remember that?
Yes. I mean, it's got his initials on the briefcase.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Somebody's gonna like that.
Yeah.
We've got an Emerson Fittipaldi signed, autographed, large poster from Indianapolis 500 with the with the reef on and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. So we've got a bunch of incredible auction items, even down to a Childress wine basket. Some neat stuff. So if you are anywhere in town, you need to come to Break Scale on Thursday night. Hopefully all of our drag racer buddies will show up.
I can tell you this. I've been going to this thing every year since you started, and every year I think you can't make it any better. And last year was incredible, and so I'm really looking forward to this year. And even my team owner's coming out, Doug Stringer. And he had his eye on some of the Kenny Bernstein stuff.
Nice.
I know that for a fact.
Nice.
Oh, good. Yeah,
So
we're happy to have Doug there, and I know Mimi's been friends with Doug for years from owning NASCAR
side. Yep.
Putonthebrakes.org for more information. Also on social media, the Brakes Foundation, and also on Twitter. You can find all sorts of information. Still a couple of seats left, so if you want to get in, do it real soon. Joined now on the telephone line by the driver of the White Alligator Racing Suzuki and 2015 U.S. Nationals winner in the Pro Bike category, Jerry Savoie joins us. Jerry, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Congratulations on winning the U.S. Nationals.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. To win the big one, So
I'd say it was pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well,
for a guy that wrestles alligators, though, I don't know. I mean, this is low. This is not that exciting, though, huh?
Well, here's the deal. It was a bittersweet when, Junior Pippin had called me 5 minutes before the race, and from talking to him a couple months ago until when he called me, I mean, you couldn't hardly understand him. He's really struggling, and they have never won a pro stock race, and especially Indy, and for that to happen, it was bittersweet. I was glad to take the win, but also it was kind of tough on me to not watch them get their chance.
Yeah, the last thing you wanted to see was Chip Ellis coming in on the other side of the ladder and having to face them in the finals at Indianapolis, because you and Junior Pippin have been friends for a long time, right?
Yes, sir. Junior, one of the first people I ever met out there, and such a sweet, nice guy, down to earth, and did it all on his own. He's self-made like I am, so you appreciate when you meet people like that. It's a good thing.
Well, we always say drag racing's kind of a family. So when you've got your family guys, the guys that you that are really your friends and that you care about, it gets a little bit tough. But man, when you put that helmet on, you got to go up there to try and beat them too.
Oh, trust me, we wanted to win.
We're not discounting that, right? Yeah.
No, I wanted to reach over and rip his throat out, but you know, you got to have some composure. And on that day, we were just more focused, I guess. You know, my hat goes off the chip, and that team, man, they got a really fast motorcycle, and actually they smoked us. We had a couple of things happen on that run. The run before, we smoked the clutch, and put a whole new clutch basket and everything in it, and didn't really know what it wanted, and then we busted the tire off the line, and then scuffed the piston on the top end. So
wow.
I rolled the throttle. It wasn't as bad as it looked, but I did roll the throttle, so it threw the time way off. But he had us beat. I mean, I got to give it to him. They had us.
Jerry, you've obviously got something figured out. You had low ET of the second round and real close to low ET in the first round in the semis too. So that bike is running good. This is no gimme here, and you're not backing into anything.
Right. Yeah. I would say that credits your crew chief. You know, as a rider, you try to do the same thing every time, and people always tell me. Matter of fact, Eddie Krawick told me the other day that I don't give myself enough credit for what I do. I take it for granted, and it's not that complicated, but the crew chief makes the decisions, Tim Kalungian, and then the guys working behind the scenes, Jeremy and Steve Zillman and Rick. These guys keep it together, but the crew chief makes the tuning decisions. We discuss things inside the trailer that people don't see, and make decisions upon the data that we receive from the computer. So if you'll notice, we'll start off the weekend not on top, but with the top few. But as the weekend goes on, we usually progress and not regress, because this guy, Tim, he really knows what he's doing.
You know, I got to spend a lot of time around pro-stock bikes with the Ellie Tonglet and Gary and those guys. You know, my kid actually licensed on one of their bikes, and there's a lot going on. I mean, when you roll up there for the final round of the U.S. Nationals, are you watching the shift light, or you're just thinking, man, I just want to get to the finish line? Kind of give us a quick rundown of what that's like. I know there's a lot of shifting, a lot of things. You're talking about rolling the throttle. I heard them, you know, jumping on my kid about that, said it could tear the sprags up, this, that, and the other, whatever it does to a pro stock bike. But give us a quick rundown of that.
Well, you know, mentally you think, man, I need to do this. I go through step 1 through 10. You know, ram really hard, let the clutch out. Make sure you concentrate on the light, where it's actually through your peripheral vision. But, you know, you're thinking about all these things. But this is what happens 99% of the time. When you dump that clutch, it's all reaction. You don't think about it anymore. But what's really weird, somebody asked me in my first year racing, what did I learn this year? I said, what I learned? I learned how amazing the human brain really is. And he's like, what? It doesn't have anything to do with racing. I said, yes, it does. I said, because while you're going through those shift points and that bike makes any type of strange move, anything, your body reacts, and right away you say, man, this thing is strong, or man, I missed my shift point, or, you know, in a matter of milliseconds, your brain is reacting to things that are happening all around you on top of focusing to get the bike straight down the track. So it's a lot of mental preparation, as you know, and man, I'm just thankful for where I am and what I've done and my team, and it's all good. It's just a good thing. I've been blessed.
Jerry, you're going into the countdown in the number 4 spot. How are you looking at the countdown? What are you guys planning on pulling out to? You know, you only got 3 more spots to jump up.
Right. Well, you know, I'm a take it week by week kind of guy, and I'm not in this for the money. I'm in it because my heart is there, and I love drag racing. I love the fans. I love the friends, and all my racing buddies. And it's a small community, and it's a wonderful thing for life. And as far as the countdown, hey, I don't have any pressure on me like I have to perform because who's sponsoring me. So I think we have a huge advantage on that part, to where we don't have to answer to anybody. So we just take it week by week. And look, if we win a championship, man, that is more than what I ever dreamed of doing. My goal to run Pro Stock is to win one race, and now we've run 2 this year and 1 last year. So my dream is fulfilled, you know.
Jerry, realistically, can a Suzuki win the championship this year?
Absolutely. Vance and Hines, those guys, man, they really doing a great job. And like I said, they give everybody the same power. It's just a matter of what you do with it. And if you notice our 60-foots, we're usually in the top 1 to 5 week after week. So, I think we'll do good. I think they're worried. I know they were worried last year when we didn't get in the top 10. We missed it by 1 point. Yep. Because I missed Denver. I had to come back and take care of some business because of a hurricane. But they watching this year, you know. So we'll see what we can do. But we do have a bike that can run with them. We did not reach our full potential in Indy. This was a brand new engine. We still have a little bit left in it. And I have a couple of things I can concentrate on and focus as a rider to do better. So, yeah, we could definitely run with it.
Hey, Jerry, have you ever thought about having an alligator seat on your bike? I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. But, it'll slide, and I don't want to fly off the back.
Well, no, we don't want that. We've talked to you a couple of times this year, and kind of got the backstory of what you do for a living. What have you been doing today, Jerry? What's your day been like?
Well, got up at 4:30 this morning, and I don't really have a plan. I just come to the farm because, look, on a farm, whether it be a cattle farm or anything, you go out and you plan something, and it all changes. You got a pump that goes out, or you're working on. Today we were working on a generator. I have a 60 kW generator and cranked it up and it quit running. Well, the diesel's so old in it that drained it all out and worked on it, and got a couple of landowners coming over here. I'm looking at one of them right now, coming to get his check for his eggs that I purchased from him. So it's just a normal run day. We skinning alligators and selling meat to a vendor, and just an everyday thing. So anyway, it's all good, man. It's an interesting business. You need to come visit one day. You'd be surprised.
Yeah,
I want to come down there and see you and maybe watch you wrestle an alligator. That's what I want to see. I know you got those things figured out. Jerry, congratulations on winning Indy. We're super happy for you, and good luck for the rest of the countdown this year.
Hey, man, I thank you guys for watching, and I want to tell Mr. Clay he's always busy, and just say my deepest sympathy for him and his family, and I know how my father felt when my brother passed away, so I can't imagine. But wish him all the luck, and I can't wait to see him at the races.
Thanks, buddy. I look forward to seeing you. Let's go kick some butt out there this weekend.
Yes, sir. We're going to give him hell. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Driver of the White Alligator Racing Suzuki and U.S. Nationals winner Jerry Savoie joining us on the Straight Line. When we return, we'll wrap up another great edition of the Straight Line with Clay Millican and Doug Herbert.
You're listening to The Straight Line. More right after this.
Dale Jr. here. I wear Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans for any occasion. With new styles and great fits, you'll look good and feel comfortable anytime, anywhere.
Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans are built with a U-shaped construction, so they give you more room where you need it. And their 4-way flex technology moves with you for all-day comfort.
In the garage or out and about, Wrangler knows the ins and outs of comfort. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings, plus earn double points on over 150 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Here's more with Marty Huff and Doug Herbert.
Big thanks to Matt Hagan, Dave Connolly, and Jerry Savoie for joining us on The Straight Line, along with the driver of the Parts Plus Great Clips Top Fuel Dragster, Clay Millican, and Doug Herbert. I'm Marty Huff. Goals for the rest of the year, Clay. Obviously, you'd love to get that win and get it out of the way.
Yeah, might as well get that over with this weekend.
Sure,
and
why not?
You were saying during the break that it's going to be hot this weekend. That doesn't scare me. We were worried after what happened at Indy with it being hot, but we know why and what happened, so we're ready for this weekend. And we don't have to worry about points. We don't have to worry about anything, and we got to get ready for next year. So our goal is to go out and win races and get ready for next year.
Yeah, now that you have more than a screwdriver in your toolbox.
Not a lot more, but the inventory's growing. It really is. We spent, so much time getting everything ready that we're not real deep in inventory, but it's getting better all the time. I've never been in the spot where I'm already prepared for next year. Parts Plus is coming back. Great Clips is coming back, and it's nice to go through a wintertime. Doug, you've been there to where when you had Snap-on for all those years, it's like, I know I'm racing next year. I know I have a job.
Well, yeah, it gives you comfort. It helps you not only with the parts, but also the people, getting the crew guys in place, getting, things like trailers and just having everything set so that you can focus on the performance of the car because all this other stuff is already taken care of.
Exactly. It's so nice just to know that all those things are in place, and we're already concentrating on photo shoots and what the car's going to look like. It's nice.
Yeah. Real quick, new surface here at ZMAX had one opportunity to get down it during the spring, but it can't be. The notes and stuff, is it going to be different?
Oh, it'll be different because in the springtime it was cold. If you remember, we all had sweatshirts on and we were flying. And that was another final round, number 9. That was final round number 9, I believe I've been in. I'm 0 for 9, so I'd like to change that as soon as possible.
Yeah. Well, I do remember you guys ran really, really good. Kind of flew under the radar. Nobody was expecting that car to be there, but all of a sudden, here you are in the finals, lining up against 3 other drivers, and people are going, "You better watch Millican over there."
A $12 part broke in the final.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course it does.
It's usually a 25-cent part. That's what I hate.
Well, yeah.
Break the little throttle linkage ball or something. Yeah.
The truth is, it was a free part, but I'm not going to get into all that.
Well,
but anyway,
it didn't get down the racetrack.
You got what you paid for then.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, Doug, tomorrow night, Brakes Gala. If people are interested in either donating or coming to the Gala, how do they do that?
Just go to the website, put on thebrakes.org. Call the brakes office. Get a hold of us pretty quick because there's not many, if any, spots left, but we would love to have a donation, love to have people involved. We're also going to have our pancake breakfast Saturday morning.
That's right.
Out at the racetrack. Yes. We'll be at the Don Schumacher Hospitality Pit Area. I think they're in Antron Brown's Hospitality Pit Area. So even if you missed the Thursday night, come out and eat pancakes with us on Saturday morning. You got to eat breakfast anyways.
Clay, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
So for everybody involved in the show, we appreciate you being here. We'll talk to you next week on The Straight Line.
You've been listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Tune in next Wednesday at noon for more NHRA talk. The Straight Line is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center or download from iTunes or Stitcher. The Straight Line is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.